if you go by the title of the show, this episode, we got to talk about the worst Spider-Man, at least in the recent years, of certainly the recent three. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're a stan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I don't care how much you like Tom Holland. The person that he plays in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not Peter Parker. Now, you can go watch my videos on that. I've done several videos talking about this character. I know a lot of people like him because all they know about Spider-Man is that he web slings and he wears red and blue. So if you can put anybody in that suit that does that, then they think that he's Peter Parker. This ain't Peter Parker. He's Iron Boy, Iron Man Jr., and he is not Peter Parker by way of any sort of comic book lore. He's not Peter Parker. That's a little beside the point, though. That's a little beside the point. Tom Holland posts on Instagram. This is being reported by IGN. If you are listening to the audio on 4KNSake.com or wherever you listen to your podcast. He says, wear a mask. I'm wearing two. Now, look, obviously I talk a lot about the mask cultism and how it's a little bizarre. No, it's not a little bizarre. It's a lot of bizarre. It's a lot of bizarre. It's not a no. This is a lot of bizarre. And what you see is people cling to this mask thing like it's so foolproof. And it's a dangerous thing because, unfortunately, when you want to talk about danger, people act like people not wearing masks is dangerous. But I think it's certainly dangerous that folks approach policy and they analyze things based upon the whole mask joint. As an example, this crowd, the blue check marks, when there is a spike anywhere, or anybody dies, or anybody gets sick for that matter, you know, they're keeping tally on everything, and you can just go a ticker, just look at a ticker, and then the numbers just keep racking up, which make it seem like it's far worse than what it actually is, believe it or not. And when you compare it to even other things that kill people, over a 9-month period, 240,000 people. This may sound bad when you clutch your pearls and you want to dramatize things, but that's not a lot of people. And I'm talking about particularly in the comparison to other things that kill by the millions throughout the year, heart diseases, car wrecks, stuff like that. We ain't even gotten anything close to that. And we're actually entering into a new flu season, ironically, and they're going to keep tallying the numbers, which is odd because they don't do that with influenza. They would separate the seasons. So you can imagine if you had the 2017, 2018, as well as the 2016 and 2017, and you combine those numbers of influenza deaths, you would get a very high number. They're only doing that with COVID. Okay. And it's a very bizarre thing, but they do it. And a lot of people, if the media and the TV box, they tell you what the hell to start paying attention to. That's what folks start paying attention to. But the whole mask thing is odd because we know that, yes, you can spread a respiratory illness among other things, among other ways, rather. So to sit up here and attribute to every single death or case to the fact that people not wear masks, or there aren't people wearing masks, so you assume that they aren't, is dangerous because they build policy based on this, right? Even though it's anti-science, they tell you trust the science, trademark, the science. But the whole mask thing, I'm like over that. I'm over the whole emphasis on the mask. Like people act as if you are a hero if you wear a mask, and this is what. While a lot of leftists cling to these ideals because it makes them feel like they are doing something heroic because they put a diaper on their face. Whatever. Nonetheless, Spider-Man already has a mask on. But of course, this is Tom Holland, using this as a means. Hey, wear your mask. This is what heroes do. Wear your mask. See me. Look at me. I'm Spider-Man. Even Spider-Man wears a mask. You can't even get away from the crap in the books. I'm going to open this Justice League book here. And I'm willing to bet there's a freaking ad. Because I know they were showing them before. And there was an ad before about masks and all kinds of stuff. Is it in here? I know DC was doing that for a while. Maybe by then they had stopped. But they were doing that for a bit, where they would have these like mask ads and stuff like that in the actual books. Is disgusting, but I guess not in this particular Justice League. Yeah, I'm skimming through this. I don't see it in this. I think this is one of the recent Justice League books, and I guess by then it wasn't cool anymore. But they would have like Flash and Wonder Woman and all of them acting out instances of social distancing and stuff like that. They spent 2-page spreads on that. There was one where it would have, using the lasso of truth, if you will, Wonder Woman putting that over someone, and then they'd have persons shouting like Fauci is right and stuff like that. Straight propaganda, right? Yes, I know that's another company, but this is the whole idea that, hey, we're heroes. Look at us, we wear a mask, and now you have someone that already has a mask on his face, putting an additional mask on their face because, hey, look at us, look at me, we do it, therefore you should do it. I'm over this. I've been over this. We can talk about time and time again. We have talked about it before, that if you look at the simple fact in comparison to, let's say, there's other countries, cities, states, counties, and you can look at the people that actually are keeping up with the data, right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can show you guys here again one more time, just as a friendly reminder, right? Where if you actually look at the data and you look at places that have had mask mandates, though people keep acting like mask mandates are the end all, and you can see in a lot of cases that it did absolutely nothing to their case count in terms of it didn't drop the cases. And a lot of instances, such as you're looking like right here in Miami-Dade County, where back in April they implemented a mask mandate, and then it just shot up throughout the months of July and so forth. Same thing with Hawaii. And you go through these other instances where they do a mask mandates, and yep, the numbers still go up. The quote unquote cases go up. And they don't talk about this, but they like to pretend, and they'll pin every single death, every single case on people not wearing masks. Well, that depends on if they can have some sort of political slant to it. You know that if you riot or if you protest or if you celebrate President-elect Joe Biden, then you cannot catch the virus, and it's okay for you to not social distance and what have you. But I test anybody to sit up here. There's not been many RCTs that have been done on this particular topic. And I'm not one to sit up here and say that masks work or they don't work. All I'm saying is that mask mandates have not been effective. And what it is that they claim, yet they're still using that as this sort of policy. Though there's not a whole lot of evidence. You can find actually evidence to both sides. So to sit up here and pin the mask mandates on lower case counts and what have you is dishonest, and it doesn't match up with data seen not just in America, but you can look around the world. You've had around the world, and definitely in countries in Europe that are going through another lockdown that had mask mandates, social distancing restrictions, laws. They also had a bunch of restrictions that made it, essentially illegal. And in certain instances, depending on what industry that you were involved in, to even be getting up and moving around. Yet they're entering into another lockdown and their cases are going up. Yet we're supposed to sit here and trademark the science, even though the science doesn't necessarily agree with each other. There's not any monolithic science. Definitely on something like this, you can find scientists speaking one way or the other. Excuse me. So to sit up here and say that is bogus. But they'll continue to pin that on you. Let them do it.